Hey everyone, Sharkheart here, and in this video I'm going to give you a summary of the 3.6 livestream and talk about some things they didn't mention. First of all, the launch date for version 3.6 will be April 11th in the evening for North American players and April 12th in the morning for Asia and European players. Immediately after the releases, Nahida and Nilou's banners will be available. Dehya will be available on the standard banner, and so will Mika. We currently don't know the 4 stars on the Nilou and Nahida banners, but I hope they're good because a lot of people are excited about them. These banners will be available until May 2nd for North American players and May 3rd for players in Asia and Europe. Once Nahida and Nilou's rerun banners are over, then Baizhu and Ganyu's banners will be live in Phase 2 of the patch. We know that Kaveh is a 4 star and that he will be on these banners, but we don't know the other 4 stars that will be joining him. There's also a new artifact domain with 2 new artifact sets to farm, and I'm sure everyone's really looking forward to that. I want to give you a breakdown of these artifact sets because they didn't really talk very much about them in the live stream. The first artifact set is basically the 5-star bow, the Polar Star, but in artifact form. The 2-piece increases hydro damage by 15%, and the 4-piece set bonus gives you a stack whenever a normal attack, charge attack, plunging attack, skill, or burst hits an enemy. Each stack increases your attack and hydro damage bonus, and at the maximum of 3 stacks you get a 25% attack bonus and a 15% hydro damage bonus. These stacks are independent of each other, so they should be fairly easy to maintain. This is a decent artifact set for Child, but not really worth farming if you already have a good artifact set for him. The second artifact set is basically a Dehya specific artifact set. The 2-piece set bonus increases your HP by 20%, and the 4-piece set bonus increases your character's skill and burst damage by 10%, and then it increases that bonus by 80% whenever a character takes damage, stacking up to 5 times. This effect can also be present even if the character who is equipping the set is not on the field. This artifact set does give a sizable damage boost to Dehya, but each stack only lasts 5 seconds, and unless you keep taking damage, they'll fall off pretty quickly. And unfortunately, the 4-piece set bonus really isn't very good for anyone else unless you want to try something very specific or niche, like using a C6 Zhao or fighting against Rift Hounds where you constantly are suffering from corrosion. Overall, this new artifact domain really isn't worth farming for most people. Just stick to the high value artifact domains like the Deepwood domain or the Emblem domain. Next, they gave us a taste of Baizhu and Kaveh's kits. And at this point, we don't know the full details about these characters and exactly how they work and how good they're going to be, so we'll have to wait till a little bit later once they're actually live, but they both do seem pretty useful. But going over what we know, Baizhu is a 5-star Dendro healer who uses a catalyst. His skill heals and his burst creates a shield with a short duration that refreshes every few seconds, heals and releases Dendro. He also has a unique passive that allows your active character to heal whenever they pick up a plant from the overworld. So you can heal up just by having Baizhu in your party and picking a bunch of sweet flowers. Kaveh is a 4-star Dendro on-field Claymore user who seems to be designed for Bloom teams but will probably work well in other teams too. His skill is a small AoE that deals damage and instantly explodes any Dendro cores in its area. And he can actually heal himself when a Dendro core explosion hits him thanks to his unique passive talent. Kaveh's burst infuses his weapon with Dendro and looks like it may give him some sort of other buffs like a bit of interruption resistance as well. He also has a special non-combat passive that refunds a portion of materials when used for crafting furnishings in the teapot. We're also getting 2 new bosses in patch 3.6. The first of which is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Gundam Fusion boss that uses multiple elements that you need to counter or something bad will happen. Probably. And since this is a world boss, it's likely that Kaveh or Baizhu will need this boss's materials to ascend. The second boss is a terrible worm that they called a dragon that looks like a plant version of the horrible face-stealing demon from Avatar: The Last Airbender. This will be a new weekly boss and the second one in the Sumeru region, and like Ajdaha and Ryarm's Susanoo gun, it's likely this weekly boss will be tied to Nahida's second story quest, which we are also getting in patch 3.6. The next major thing we're getting in patch 3.6 is a new area in the desert that is the site of a catastrophic event from Conria. This area will undoubtedly have a lot to discover, which means we are going to have a chance to get a lot of Primo Gems from this area as well. Besides the second Nahida story quest that's coming, we're also getting a Baiju story quest and a Layla hangout. If Baiju's story quest is immediately available, that could mean we are able to test him early like we were able to do with Yoimiya, which could be really great. This could mean we could get a really good sense of Baiju's strengths, weaknesses, team viability, and so forth early in the first phase of the patch before he releases in the second phase, but it remains to be seen if this story quest will launch immediately or not. Next, we move on to the events for patch 3.6. The main event is the Parade of Prominence, where each of the academia schools chooses a representative that will have us compete in various minigames. To be honest, these minigames look kinda mid to me, but let me know what you think in the comments. And of course, we'll get the usual Primo Gems, Mora, talent materials, and so on, but we're also getting a free copy of the 4-star character Faruzan. And it's kinda strange, but they failed to mention the free 4-star character we're getting, probably because she's basically useless for everyone who doesn't have Zhao, Wanderer, or Hazo. Oh well, free 4 stars are always welcome in my book. Another event has us running around Sumeru using a special device to go treasure hunting. There will be a combat event where we'll get special trial characters that we can pair with our own characters and get special combat bonuses. Just like the Vibro Crystal event we just had, but also different? I mean, fundamentally it's the same, but cosmetically it's different. We'll also get an event where we can pilot a cute little red fairy like a World War II bomber that drops cataclysmic infernos on unsuspecting hilichurls. Oh, and speaking of hilichurls, there's some new hilichurl enemies that look really dangerous and frankly a little too human for my tastes. But they probably won't be a big deal as long as you don't have a million HP like the black serpents in the abyss. Anyways, after we annihilate all of our enemies with this cute little red fairy, we'll be able to keep it as a pet and commemorate our special adventures and probably war crimes together. The Overflowing Mastery event is also returning, this time allowing us to get twice as many talent books as before. Keep in mind that you can't use condensed resin here to get quadruple the rewards, only the regular 20 resin for double rewards. They also showed this event in the middle of the event sequence, but the double reward events are always the last events to come in a patch, so don't take the order of the events displayed in the live stream as an indication of when they will come in the patch. That's a quick overview of the live stream and some things they left out. What are you most excited for? All the Primo Gems coming in the new area, a new Faruzan, or maybe an extra constellation for Faruzan, new story quests, new weekly bosses, Nilou, Nahida, or Ganyu's rerun, or Baiju finally being a playable character? Personally, I'm looking forward to exploring the new area, and hopefully they have Kuki Shinobu as one of the 4 stars on the banner because I still don't have her and I really want her. Anyways everyone, have a wonderful day, stay jawsome, know that I love you, and until next time friends, may order guide you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.